Welcome to our presentation on the influences of foreign films on culture and pluralism. The medium of film. The art of making films does not belong to one culture alone. Storytelling has been an integral part of passing along our beliefs and morals for many of our cultures for thousands of years. The medium of film has simply given us a new way to tell those stories. Ang Lee is quoted as saying, "Making movies is a way of understanding myself and the world." In studying these films, our group decided to focus on the idea that although cultures are inherently different, the stories we tell are very similar, and it applies to our human spirit. So on to China. The movie Fearless, directed by Ronnie Wu. It's based on the life of Ho Yuan-ji, a martial artist who took on foreign fighters in highly publicized matches. His victories would help to restore pride and nationalism to China at a time when the British imperialism, in addition to the Japanese manipulation, were eroding the country in the final years of the Qing dynasty before the birth of the Republic of China. Ho Yuan-ji was regarded as a hero and a symbol for Chinese pride.
They came to break a nation's will, but one man stood to defy them.
We better lose this time.
Our victory is guaranteed.
From the producers of Hero and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Jet Li in his final martial arts epic. Jet Li's Fearless. Rated PG-13.
Now over to Greece. The movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, directed by Joel Zwick in 2002. The film was written by Nia Vardolos. It was based loosely on her own life experiences growing up in Manitoba with her Greek family. The main character, Tula Portokalos, struggles with her family's traditions as she falls in love with a man who is a school teacher and not Greek, and her family is trying to accept them with their traditions. Bringing those elements of Greek and Western cultures together and how families can closely guard those traditions. Nominated for the Best Original Screenplay at the Academy Awards.
Она и замуж не хочет выходить.
Now over to India. The movie Black, directed by Sanjay Leela Bhansali. The plot and the story is based on Mukesh character Michelle, who was born deaf, blind, and mute, and her progress from birth into adulthood, as well as her struggle to obtain a degree which she takes 40 years to acquire. The director himself is quoted as saying that the Helen Keller story was the inspiration for this movie. The movie contains a lot of flashbacks and is based on the memories of Michelle and how she reminisces about her mentor and teacher, Mr. Sahai. He teaches her sign language and how to feel emotions. In a turn of events, Mr. Sahai then requires her help when he begins to suffer from Alzheimer's. The film depicts how these two vulnerable individuals help one another with love and support. Michelle lacks vision, hearing, and the beauty of sight, but nonetheless she is able to remain by Sahai's side and bring him joy in his old age. over to Japan. The movie The Seven Samurai, directed by Akira Kurosawa. Kurosawa was heavily influenced by John Ford's 1940s Western films, with their sweeping landscapes and themes of duty, with a subtle comedy brought by certain characters. In this movie, Kurosawa examines the roles of Japanese society in a post-war era, and how should the Japanese continue, and should they continue as they have, with their caste roles and societal roles. Toshiro Mifune's character embodies this, as he despising what he wants to become as a samurai and hating being a farmer. This movie heavily influenced the filmmakers with exactly these same questions. Seven Samurai is credited as being the first film which ensembles heroes for a common mission. It resulted in movies like The Magnificent Seven directly, and movies like The Guns of Navarone, The Dirty Dozen, or even more recently, The Avengers. Now finally, over to Sweden, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Directed by Niels Arden Oplev, based on the book by Stieg Larsson. It's a story about Elizabeth helping an investigative journalist to uncover the disappearance of a woman presumed dead. The themes it explores are those of violence against women and misogyny, as well as the justification of violence in reference to religion. Similar themes are seen throughout the world of film and art. This movie was made in 2009, the original title literally translating to Men Who Hate Women, but was made again in Hollywood in 2011.
När Harriet var 8 gav hon mig en födelsedagspresent. En blå klocka från 1958. Sen kommer en ny blomma varje år. 1966. Året Harriet försvann. Vi ska in här på vinden. Helt otroligt. Varenda förbannade år sedan dess får jag på min födelsedag en blomma med posten. Från olika delar av världen.
Så vem skulle skicka blommorna?
Harrys mördare. Ja, du känner inte min familj. Du vet inte vad de är i stånd till. Jag favoriserade Harriet. Och det gjorde henne till ett självskrivet offer för alla som vill ha mer makt inom Banja-koncernen. Han ville krossa mig.
And that leads us back to Hollywood, synonymous with movies and the center of North American filmmaking. Filmmakers are storytellers of human nature, and no matter the nationality or culture, the same stories are borrowed and retold. Francis Ford Coppola is quoted as saying, all of a sudden there are great Japanese films, or great Italian films, or great Australian films. It's usually because there are a number of people that have cross-pollinated each other. So in closing, we see that those filmmakers the world over look to retell the classical themes of human nature and universal struggles, but each with their own cultural lens filters and each borrowing from one another to make the important messages heard the world around, reinforcing the idea that no country or culture makes film for themselves, but instead belongs to a world culture of film.